Minim say nkrofo bebra etie me no. Momo dodo na no you own properties. Mo dan, mo we fie. Ebi mo ho a mo ana mo tim, ebi mo nso wo mo a mo rent ama nkrofo. There is a new year press statement coming through, and dry na press statement no ebaye, where it's coming from Office of the Rent Commissioner. Now we every a year rent control for a ho. What you say? And I think say we need to inform Ghanaians for Ghanaians to understand. This is a government decision, policy be abayin eteki on rent in sensem. What you say? Intino mesre se woni mobia o oni edan warranty edan amanipa. Unim obi ana wankasa warranty a tieniye ana share sa video we ema say nipa krono because unim na se okokotia mra ne dia ebi ana waso ebeyehye. And then your first time wa ha me share subscribe and click the notification bell ne so. Oya ne sa latest news bi aba on sa ebeka. Ebusuanfo me kai mo say 28th April to 3rd May. Ye the teachers for Echo Dubai. We teaching ni na wo Ghana all inclusive experience. Ye ma wakwa akoto Dubai Dubai City, Dubai Desert Safari, Dubai Marina Yacht. Obe visited the Grand Presidential Palace enya asem keto akra. Eneje semu ewo mu ene se payment no part payment available. Inti free intempara free 024 986 9616. Nan hihye bia wo ho no ye de atudwa amao. Na obi biara a wotie me nso no pe bebi a wodi usika besie wo Ghana ha na daachi bi o da na usika no wo amao. Wati ase wo mohu na daachi bi esi oye. Book na that screen is on your friend the Ghanaian investor betrel how to invest wo Ghana ha. Even if you are not in Ghana krana, it will teach you as a Ghanaian how to invest your money. Oye Ghana ni na wa brochura obetumi nya book no Amazon. Oko Amazon na wa search the Ghanaian investor obenya book no. So wo Ghana ha say your number na wo book no eso no 0558074986. Fresa number no. Ni PDF ya available, ni tree video ya available, ni English video ya available. And no more kenkan ye modiana na muni makenkan no modiano no. There is also a link in the comment box. O click here, bibia eyeho, available ewoho. Now yenko the press statement. So say issuance and mandatory use of rent cards under the Rent Act 1963, Act 227, and PNDCL 138. Now, say the Rent Control Department of Ghana wishes to formally inform the public, landlords, tenants, estate managers, and all stakeholders that, pursuant to the provisions of the Rent Act 1963, Act 2020, Section 20, and PNDCL 138, 1986, Section 5, the issuance and proper maintenance of rent cards for all tenancies remains a statutory obligation. Enti yesi sisiano anase yesi rent cards I mean me amiti hey me rented that. Enti this is something I don't even know anything about, right? But I say your free BB rent card. Ati rent card. Enti no. I say as part of ongoing institutional reforms to strengthen compliance, transparency, and accountability in rent administration, the Office of the Rent Commissioner hereby issues the following directives. 1. Mandatory issuance of rent cards. I say effective 1st April 2026. Every landlord is required to issue an official rent card to each tenant upon commencement of tenancy and ensure that rent payments are properly recorded therein. And if you have rent card, you say from 1st April, oye Ghana ni oye estate manager, oye obi a wo high dine, unso edane ye wo dia, o de man crofo high ene nyama sa nyama ni nyina no. From 1st April, by force, say wonya ade bia ye friend rent card. Na rent card no osha officially no as a jumedie a ene say a recorded rent payments any some relevant information. What you say into rent card no ebe recorded the payments and certain relevant informations bia Osha mandatory loan from 1st April. I was a Ghana ni bia or renting a dino. I was a washa say or you saw a dear a rent card. I say 2. Compliance requirements at rent control offices. I say from 1st April 2026, no landlord who appears before any office of the rent control department without proof of issuance of rent cards to his or her tenant shall not be entertained for any service, including but not limited to rent assessment application, rent disputes, recovery of premises proceedings, compliance against tenants, settlement processes. On say rent control ene de Ghana for ye na yateda obi wo ho a obekwa ko rent ne dan e de ama obi embra so se nipa ko no ontu no beso obetu ode ne takashi wo de tifie ho e ya na bibisa ba o de rent control because oko reportima police e ya na I think say they need some clearance from rent control and say maybe on be take action intino for your own good. Se woni sa rent card bia asemba oko rent wo dan edi mo bi na asemba na oko rent control se wo munkodi wa aseme ma wa ye ndi wa aseme ma ye ndi wa aseme ma for your own good ye ndi wa aseme ma intino o your landlord there, then you know what to do. Go and get the rent card. 3. Enforcement measures. Any landlord found to be in default of issuing rent cards as required by law, shall be deemed to be in breach of statutory obligations and shall face the full rigors of the law, including sanctions prescribed under Act 2020 and related regulations. Say ye ba na your landlord, ni ehun ne say wa rent dan ya mo bi, uni ade a friend a rent card ne dia emra ne wo bedi. I say under Act 2020 Ghana Mra and Act 2020 Ghana Act 2020 na mention say what does it talk about? Act 2020 Ghana meba Act 2020 no say there na eka because you bet me achi what to and that's what I want us to see. I'll say Constitution of Act 2020 hey maybe I'm not seeing any Act 2020 bia. Okay, sorry, it is not the Rent Act, sorry, it is not the Constitution. It is the Rent Act 1963, Act 2020. It is different from the 1992 Constitution, right? Now, I say, what Ghana's law says about rent under Act 2020 as a advanced rent limits under Section 25 of the Rent Act residential, a landlord cannot demand more than 6 months advance. A landlord cannot demand more than 1 year. Okay, sanction here then. Okay, so what are the sanctions? I want to look at the sanction. I'll say criminal offense. Any blah 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 commits a criminal offense, including demanding okay. Into fine, they say you be fine and as you be chiwatum. So basically, those are the sanctions. Into no, for anyone who wants to know, says our rent card in sense me. Say 1 year ebesi usen ene say ebetumi ache watum ebetumi abobo ama se wo se utia. I said the Rent Control Department remains committed to enforcing rent laws fairly, professionally, and without fear or favor. We call on all stakeholders to cooperate with this directive in the collective interest of promoting orderly rent administration across Ghana. So you have it over there. We are Ghana ni na orentia o abrochi o hefa tie na you see Bible no say muntie de ehonhom no e ka tra asafo no ati as eno kra I mean was it Revelation? Was it Revelations? Revelations. Emrana, ye asap we ne kasa no. Ase muntie de honhom ne ka tra asafo no. Enti no tie, o enti a waso be hye. Wontre wa your comment box ni mo.